Welcome to Old Horse Racing All the Time, where we bring you fresh new horse racing information every single day. I'm Alan, your host, professional racing analyst, and winning horse player since 2011. Today, we're going to be talking about Magnitude. Magnitude, the winner of the Risen Star Stakes over at Fairgrounds, earning 50 points for the Kentucky Derby qualifying. And is he for real? He went off at 43-1, wires the field. But let's take a look at this. How good is Magnitude? Is he worth a wait? He wasn't even involved in the futures pool for this week. But let's talk about his race, and let's see, do we think he is for real, and is he the one to consider when talking about 2025 Kentucky Derby prospects? So I'm going to bring up something here, and I'm going to take a look at this, and I think you might be surprised. We're going to begin by talking about buyer speed figures. And what I have up here, what I've just brought up here are the charts. These are the charts, all the 3-year-olds, both male and female, to date, right through yesterday. And if you look at the top figures, Magnitude, with his win over at Fairgrounds in the Risen Star Stakes, earned a buyer figure of 108. 108. Actually, it's been stated it was 109. So, okay, so arguments, let's just use this chart here, 108. The other one I'm going to show you with the 109, both from the same source, right? Anyway, it was reported at 109. Look at his number there, 108 buyer speed figure. Look at the other one, Citizen Bull, one of the ones for the top Derby contenders from Baffert. His highest to date is 98. 98. Okay, a good 10 points less. Okay, and you look at some of the others, the Dutro entry, Captain Hook, 94 highest, Citizen Bull 98, Rodriguez, another fine one for the futures, 100. But Magnitude, he's the one that's on top. All of them. You look at the other ones, FanDuel, Sand Devil taking a lot of money from Cassie in the futures. Highest to date, 93. 93, good 16 points less. The other ones, there's no one even close to the race that Magnitude run. And we're going to take this a step further, and we're going to go down to all the top buyer figures for all horses. This includes horses that have run on main tracks more than a mile. So this considers the older horses as well. And look at the top two right through yesterday, top buyer figures. Number 1, White Abarrio, 109. Number 2, Magnitude, a 3-year-old, 108. Now, White Abarrio, arguably the fastest horse, miler, router, arguably the fastest in the world. I put up a 109 and winning the Pegasus Cup at Gulfstream Park, followed by Magnitude 108. And then you got Hall of Fame, ran a great race over at Fairgrounds over the weekends as well. Next at 103, Hall of Fame also had 100 in there. But you got to go down and you look at races over a mile, and not even Citizen Bull has registered a number in this at all. Okay, so you're talking the numbers here. Magnitude 108. So what does that say? I'll tell you what it says. You got to give the horse respect. I mean, he gunned it even in his race a couple back. His race before the prior one, he had trouble in that start, and it was on a sloppy track, shuffled around at the break. But before that, the race he ran a month in December actually fit by the Thorograph numbers. And the Thorograph numbers are very important, or Ragozin sheets. That's the top data, which I used. And what it shows is this. In that race, although he opened at 12-1 in the Risen Star, he had the second fastest Thorograph sheet number out of all the entries, with the exception of Built. Who had run a 2 in Thorograph, the lower the number, the faster the race. At a mile or more, he had the next fastest number, which is a 5. To give you an example of how strong that is, um, at a route distance, not even East Avenue had recorded a number like that in a route race. So technically, Magnitude to date was faster than East Avenue in route races. And East Avenue did earn his big number in a sprint. Okay. And get this, I did cash a pick 3 ticket with Magnitude getting 43-1. What I did in that leg of the pick 3, I was looking to make some money, of a quick money. And how can I make money out of this? Because they had a Cox entry that wound up going off at 1-9, right? And there was a turf race started it off. So I went with the two turf horses in the first race, the Brown and the other one ridden by Irad Ortiz, who really turned out to have a lot of class, the 3-8. Got that leg done, was thinking outside the box. I liked 3 best, and then I thought 8 was a contender. I was looking for some prices considering the second leg. So what I saw was this. I saw Cox had the 1-9 shot, and I say, who's another one that might get it done? Might upset Cox, and I figured the 7. So I put that in there. I put 2-7 in the next leg, and in the third leg, I like built best in that leg 3. And I say, there's probably going to be a speed duel between 1 and 4, East Avenue and American Promise, right? The 1 and 4. And what happens if they cancel each other out? Well, I like built out as my top choice anyway. Many of you saw in my selections that I put out there every single day. I said, who are 2 outsiders that have a shot to get it done? And I came up with the number 7, the Brown entry, Chad Brown, who was open at 12-1. And the other one with a good speed figure, Magnitude. I said, what didn't I like about him initially? That he was like way outside. He was breaking from he was number 13 in that race. Said I think it was a scratch, so 12. He was breaking from the outside. But I said, yeah, maybe, so I'll use 3 in that leg, 7, 9, and Magnitude 13. And lo and behold, the speed figures, the thoroughgraph worked out. So he did fit the race, at least by the numbers. And boom, what happened? 12-1 turned out going off 43-1, and he won the race. And that pick 3 that I hit if you went as low as 50 cents, it would have cost $6 to get back $80.90. So Magnitude did fit by the numbers. And if you throw out his previous race before the Risen Star, where he had encountered trouble, he was getting faster and faster every single race. You got that? Every single race. Think about that before you think of him as a one-trick pony. And some might look at him and say, oh, well, the buyer figures don't really say he was improving all the time or whatever, Brisnet, whatever you're using. By Thorograph, the creme de la creme of data, or Ragozin sheets, whichever you prefer, he was getting faster every single race. And you could throw out the last race where he had trouble at the start in the slop. And you know what? He moved forward again. And this time he exploded with a number that was up there with White Abario. Is he a bounce candidate? Whatever. He's going to qualify for the Derby. If he remains healthy, he's going to be in it. And Asmussen looking for his first Derby win, he's definitely going to be sending this guy over there, unless something, knock wood, unless something happens that he can't run, he's going to qualify. And we've seen that he has the speed already. So the only thing that's against him there, maybe if he gets hooked up in some sort of wicked speed duel, something might, that could slow him down. But he's certainly a contender. He showed that he could put up a number that's of a top caliber horse, 108 as a 3-year-old. That's not hocus pocus. That's not a trick. Okay. He did it now, and he might, he matures a little bit next couple of months till the Derby. Horses, March, April, actually just a little 2.5 months away or so, whatever. March, April, then May. They mature physically a lot, when they're young, between every few months, that's amounts to years for a human being. So who knows how they're going to handle him? Is he going to bounce back? Are they going to run him again? He already qualifies now. Do they want to give him 2.5 months off? No, they'll probably run him in one of the other races, one of the 100-point races, get a few more points, even though he doesn't need them, maybe just to get the exercise. Who knows? We got to keep an eye on that. But if you're putting up White Barrio numbers already, early in his 3-year-old campaign, that is just plain nuts. So you got to consider him. Do I think he's going to win the Kentucky Derby? I think he can. He's at this point, he's not going to be my top choice yet. I'm going to have to see more of the thoroughgraph. I'm going to have to see more of the figures, what came out of this. But what we know, what that came out of it with the buyers, and he got to have moved forward from that 5 that he did in December forward again. Definitely big time this race, and we see he has speed. And you got Ben Curtis up, who started riding in America in 2023. Excellent jock, made his first start in the Derby just like a year or so ago. So we got an excellent jock who's really pumped. So let's see what happens. I think it's exciting for horse racing that you got somebody break through with such a big number so early, and a number that dominates all the other 3-year-olds, both male and female, to date, who are going to be qualified for the Kentucky Derby. So I definitely think he's a contender, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun going forward. So I want to thank everybody for watching. We'll keep an eye on this. There's a long way to go on the road to the Kentucky Derby when we get those 100-point races coming up, the Florida Derby. I may be going to that this year. Going to see if we can get a press pass, etc., cover the races from there. So we got a lot to look forward to. The Wood Memorial, I'm going to be pumped up about that. A little bit about the futures pool. I want to touch on this for a second. I did make 4 futures pool bets this weekend. I usually don't jump into it and put work into it. Actually discussed it with a very knowledgeable, close racing friend of mine, and we analyzed this through the weekend. I mean, really covered these races and looked at them over, looked at the PPs, looked at replays, and came up with some horses. And we ended up going with a couple of horses here. I really like one that stood out at a price, and that was Captain Cook, the Dutro entry, who's probably going to qualify. He's 2 for 2 at Aqueduct. We're going to be pointing to him at the Wood. So I just showed a tremendous running ability. And on the improved 2 for 2 with Rick Dutro, goes in the Wood. He's probably going to get the extra points to qualify for the Derby. And it ended up getting 34-1 in the futures pool on Captain Cook. And then who my friend pointed out, excellent player. You've seen him before here. We've talked about it. We looked at it. Actually, we've looked at this, and that's Robert Fornero, Sopranos actor. We looked at it. We consulted on that this weekend, and he came up with one that really opened my eyes, and the name of that one was by Poster. Poster for Ian Hardy, Godolphin owned Trey and bred. And this one turned around, and excellent closing style, getting 70-1, opened it, I think it was 45-1 or something, closed in the futures at 77-1. So I got those two in the futures pool. And you think about Poster and the running style, and going back to the thoroughgraph, this one put up in the Sam Davis Stakes. Even though he didn't win the race, he had the top number, speed figure number, thoroughgraph, Brisnet, Ragozin for that race. And it's a close. I mean, that's big, right? That's hidden. Most people use the buyer figure or the Brisnet, which is fine, but it's not fine enough where you have to put in a lot of extra leg work to knock that number to a true speed figure, which is what the sheets do. And Poster fits the bill, and especially this Derby, where it looks like it's going to be dominated by a lot of front runners who love going to the lead. Speed King is another one, for example. Citizen Bull, always likes to go to the front. Bunch of them like to go to the front in here, and that might open it up for Poster, who's more of a Sierra Leone type, right? You remember Sierra Leone, don't you? And 44-1, and you got this guy going, and he's another one. I'll tell you what, I'll take my chances. Right now, he sits at 16 points, and depending on where they spot him next, I don't think they're going to spot him in the Florida Derby, which is a speed favoring track. But if you put you put him in one of the other ones, he probably just needs to finish within the top 3 to lock down a spot in the Derby. So I like those two. And the other ones I put in the futures pool, I put a smaller wager on Rodriguez, the other Baffert entry, who does have one of the speed figures 100. His race a couple back, very big. He might be one of the creme de la cremes in that Derby, one of the Baffert jewels, and got 29-1 on him in the futures. And I threw a couple of bucks, 2 to be exact, on the Linda Rice entry. Sand Devil opened some 40-something to 1, and that one is right now at 88-1 in the futures closed. And that one is nothing but that one is 3 for 3 for Rice. Rice probably looking for a shot. She might think this is her shot to get to the Derby. Do I think it's going to win? No, but it'll be fun. Aqueduct's is a local track. Sand Devil 3 for 3 at Aqueduct, and Linda's pointing this one to the Gotham, where this one can pick up enough points to qualify if it finishes first. If it wins the race, it'll probably qualify. Even second gives it a shot if she decides to run it again in the Wood, which is another month away. April 5th, I believe, is the Wood Memorial. So those are the 4 that I like there. But get back to Magnitude. Hey, you got to consider him. And he's a lot of fun. And I'm kind of rooting for him now since I won money with him with the pick 3 the other day. Kind of became a sentimental favorite. But sentiments aside, this one looks like the real deal. With that 108 buyer figure, they don't grow on trees. And like I said, second highest by a point to 109 for White Barrio to date. And head and shoulders above all the other 3-year-olds, male and female, who are shooting for the Derby and Oaks this year. So got to keep it in mind. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a tremendous day, and may the horse be with you.